It is getting colder. Although there's no snow in the forecast, freezing temperatures are. Until conditions improve, Max Olick advises against traveling on the river near Bethel. But if you have to, he says don't go alone and bring extra rope. In Bethel, I'm Angela Denning-Barnes.
Well, I actually started out in print. I worked for the Tender Drums newspaper for a few years, and I didn't have any radio experience before KYUK. You know, my mom was a big NPR fan, so we'd drive around in the old station wagon. Early 80s, and my mom would listen to NPR, all things considered, and I still remember hearing that sound driving around, so I've always been a public radio fan. KYUK is entirely unique because we are in 2 languages, and that's what makes the newsroom here unique as well. There's no other station in the state that is doing daily newscasts in 2 languages.
A homeless shelter program is now in Bethel.
That's who our listening audience is. They're predominantly Yupik in the villages that we're serving. There's 56 tribes in the region. It's the size of Ohio. That's what Bethel's serving. So they're very different stories.
Now it's time for 300 Villages. This week, we're heading to the community of Tanunuk.
This is the only daily news that they get, that's local. I definitely feel a sense of purpose when it comes to what the state hears from the region, because there's not a lot of stories coming out of Western Alaska. They're still Americans, and it's just kind of an amazing thing, and they should have a voice just like everyone else.
But the book builds on our effort to clarify the history of Native people. KTOO's Scott Burton has more.
Actually, I have family in Bethel. My aunt and uncle have been here since 1972. And when I was younger, I visited for the first time, and I kind of fell in love with the place at that point. They had all the things you could want. They had a dog team and a boat, and so I was able to get out on the land right away and have a lot of adventure. I've always felt very comfortable here because it's a rural place, and I grew up in rural Kansas. And I've always had a lot of space, and I kind of need that. I'm not really a city type of person. Most Americans live an urban experience, and rural Alaska, bush Alaska, has a wild element that I really like, and I like to tell those kinds of stories, the stories that come from the fringes of society, the edges of society, and that's what Bethel has to offer. I like having a connection to my food. I'd rather put the labor in and put the work into going to check a net for my dinner than going to the store and buying it. I like to take responsibility for catching the meat and the fish that I'm gonna eat. Say happiness is a feeling, and you either feel it or you don't. I look for that contentment every day. And all I really know is, am I feeling that? When I'm checking the whitefish net, pretty happy. I'm content. I like it. I know I'm happy. And it's just a feeling that I get. If I'm mushing dogs, I'm happy. If I'm around the dogs, I'm happy. I don't really know why all the time. Sometimes it's hard to explain. Why do you connect so much with dogs, or why do you like being out on the land and having that adventure? But it's just a feeling that I have. I'm afraid of living a boring life. I'm also afraid of not spending enough time with my family. My mom, she's 74, and she's also been quoted as saying, if I see you once a year, this is how many times I'm gonna see you again. That's pretty hardcore. That's a reality check in some ways, although kind of morbid, but still it makes you think, is this lifestyle worth it, being so far from your family and your loved ones? But then I go back to that, you know, the feeling of happiness and that day-to-day, are you happy? And maybe it's selfish. Maybe in the end it will be selfish, but just on day-to-day, so far it's what I have to do.